my gosh. Happy Saturday morning. We are back. Nouns on the Air, episode 12. Can you even believe it? I'm shook right now. I'm so happy. This has been the most incredible, amazing, beautiful week. I can't wait to dive into that. Again, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, or if you're just joining us for the first time, just subscribe to my YouTube. All of the episodes are there, all episodes 1 through 11. We talk about incredible stuff. We have awesome info about NFTs, DAOs. We started talking about crypto a little bit this week. This was kind of the first time I've dived into that too, but my name is Abtoshi. We go live every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. West Coast time, because your girl, I can't get up at 7. I can't get up at 7 a.m. on the West Coast to give you guys the 10 a.m. East Coast show. I'm so sorry about that. And for all of our Euro friends and everybody else around the world, I do other spaces to try to accommodate for those times so we could be live. Just like today, I'm going to do a live community space on Twitter, 4 p.m. We'll see you guys there. Yesterday's space had 2.7 thousand listeners. We can get into all of that and why that kind of went down. But first of all, I want to introduce someone who has been joining us before as kind of a voice from the couch, we were saying before too, but he's here live with us, guys. Sheffo, how's it going? GM.
Going great. Good GM. Good,
Very, look at it.
Good M to you.
Okay, usually we match. The first time he was on video here, we definitely matched. We had the exact same sort of like color scheme going on. But like today, I almost was like, I'm just going to go crazy. I'm going to wear my wildest shirt. And it looks like you also did that.
Yeah, we look like a pack of hippies going to the beach. And that is, honestly, probably pretty close to what's happening there.
I mean, I'm down. Like
I'm there.
That is the vibe and the energy from this week. You know that we love providing this content for you guys, and we would not be able to do that without NounsDAO. We are completely fully sponsored by NounsDAO. Thank you, Nouns. Thank you so much for doing that.
Shout out NounsDAO.
Shout out NounsDAO. Let me just make sure I'm actually on
Shout out Prop 206.
The Nouns screen before we give Nouns a little shout out. Here we go. Every day, Nouns has an auction. Look at that cute little guy that's up on auction today. No bids yet, which is pretty crazy.
I think you need to refresh your screen or something, because there.
Oh, here we go. I can see it. I can see it here on the stream.
Gammy bid and POAP bid.
Oh, I need to refresh my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Oh, duh. I was like, what? How are there no bids on this?
They're saying that this guy looks like Pepe.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Gammy said it on Twitter.
We can get into why looking like Pepe might be cool, or I don't know. But
look at POAP's PFP on his wallet.
Wow. That's incredible. Okay, listen, guys. Nouns, they have an auction every single day. If you don't know anything about NFTs or DAOs, that's completely okay. It's very simple when it comes to NounsDAO. In not financial advice, but every single day, this auction happens. You can bid on the auction. If you win the auction, all of those reserves from the treasury or go into this treasury right here. Let me tell you.
Well, that's just straight facts.
Straight facts. That is what the treasury of NounsDAO is currently sitting at. 28,672 Ethereum. Whatever the winning bid happens today, that'll be added to the pool. And right now, that actually currently sits at 54 million USD, which is incredible. And you know what they do with this money?
ETH came down a little bit, and then Toady was saying that the Ethereum Foundation sold some ETH, I guess, to raise funds for the foundation.
Oh, wow. Well, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Kind of shows you what happens in a decentralized community just like this one, because what you're going to see here with these proposals is people from the community and builders requesting funds from this treasury. This is the only way money can come out of this treasury. So requesting funds to fund their creative projects. And so if you want to know more about Nouns, nouns.wtf. And if you specifically, I'm just going to make you dizzy right now. I'm going to go all the way down. I can't believe how far down this list my proposal is. It's crazy. But if you want to know more about why we are live streaming and how this all happened with this specific NounsDAO proposal, please go to nouns.wtf/vote/206. This is me, Nouns on the Ground. Here we go. Okay, our prop passed at the end of January, and we have been providing content and traveling around to NFT and crypto conferences ever since that point in time. We actually were doing it since last June, It's crazy. It's been a wild ride. I cannot believe it's almost been a year of going around the world and meeting people in this industry. I think that's where we provide a little bit more of a different, you know, I feel like insight to this industry. I'm a normal person. Shefo is a normal person.
You're pretty normal.
We're both entrepreneurs. We're creatives. We're builders. Obviously, I like hosting and being with you guys on streams and live on camera. And we're able to, in this industry, kind of take all the talents and things that we love and combine them and make amazing content. And through that, you know, we're not traders. I'm not even a large NFT collector. I pretty much collect art that I just like, whether or not I think it's going to have value in the future or not. A lot of that art ends up being Nouns art because I love supporting community members. And so I feel like my take on this whole situation is just a little bit different because I really do feel like I'm for the people and can be a calm, steady voice for anyone that's like, okay, I've heard like my cousin at Thanksgiving talking about this stuff for the last 2 years now. I have no idea how to communicate with this person. Maybe they have a different level of interest, but just hang out with us on this Saturday morning, turn on the live stream. We can kind of walk you through some things, but I promise you it's not scary. It's never financial advice, but what I would advise you to do is if this sounds like something that is piquing your interest, you have to enter what I believe we kind of like coined yesterday for the first time.
What did you call it?
Your observation phase.
I like that.
Don't make any wild and crazy moves in your observation phase. When you come into a new environment and you're meeting new people, you're taking in new ideas, you need a lot of time to really hear all different sides of things. Like you need hours of kind of just like sitting in Twitter spaces, like listening to others before you can even start forming maybe your own opinion. Sorry, Shefo.
Yeah, no, there's a name for this, and I don't know what it's called, but in like stock market trading and stuff, like they pretty much like you like fake trade basically. Like they have like programs built in where you can do like fake trading and prove to yourself and potentially other people.
Yep. I wonder what that is. We should find out what that's called.
Yep.
There are sites like that.
Trader.
You know how I know that exists? Because I was in elementary school. So weird. Okay, this is not a flex. This is a random like I don't know if you could flex the type of person you were when you were like 7 or 8 or 9. I don't know.
I think you can flex any point in your life. Like it's yours to flex. You know what I mean? But that is funny.
Shefo, just while I'm telling this silly story, do you want to like drop a comment in the stream just to see if it's working?
This guy out.
This is the only buggy thing on this channel. But anyways, in elementary school, there was this like program that they like invited me to with like a couple kids in the school. It was called GATE. I think like gifted and intelligent. Like I was like, trust me guys, from day one, I was like, I don't belong here. Like I feel like I was like maybe socially kind of more aware of things, but I was definitely not a person that was like getting perfect grades. Oh, there you go. Comments are working. Don't forget, if you're streaming this on Twitter, LinkedIn, anywhere, YouTube, drop a comment. We can see you in the chat. We'd love to actually like interface with you guys. But anyways, I go into this program. It's the first lunch meeting. There's these like really smart kids. There's like 5th graders in there. And I'm just like, why am I here? But they introduced that program to us. It's like it's like a teaching educational tool for trading program, and we were tasked. Okay, this is how I know. They're definitely hand plucking people as children who can handle this. We were tasked to like form teams of 3 within the groups, and we all had to just make money, and we were competing with kids from across the country.
Yeah, we
and
did
then there
the
was like a
same thing.
leaderboard.
We did the same thing. Yeah, for sure. I think it was like 9th grade, I'd like to say.
Dude, I was doing that. Okay, they had 7, 8, 9, and 10-year-olds doing this in my group. That was our squad, which is so funny because I bet like all the high school kids who are like in groups like, we're gonna do this, they're like have no idea that there's teams of like elementary school children. I think they're just trying to find all the Mensa people out there. But I remember like the task was make the most money, and the teams that made the most money were gonna win something. But what I know probably happened is that the teams,
a kid, like even children understand that. They're like, okay, so there's like this thing where if I learn math, I can go buy a bicycle.
Well, you know, it's interesting and kind of relates to everything that we probably will touch on during this live stream, but I had no idea what to do. I'm not like a math brain at all. Some things like make sense to me in that sense, but I'm not like doing crazy numbers thing, especially as a 9-year-old. That just wasn't something that I was tapping into. So our little team was like buying things that we liked. And like we bought like a ton of Disney's shares and stuff, like, like things that like made sense to us and that we knew. But that's really, I think, speaks to a more general trend in trading is you have your people that are in there daily. They're waking up, they're your morning traders. They're like going in, doing their whole thing and then just doing whatever they want for the rest of their day. There's the people that take a lot of risks. And then there's the people that I think go into something that's meaningful to them, something they recognize. There's a story, they can get behind it. They don't quite care.
They can tell their friends and family about it and not be like feeling bad about that.
Exactly. And it's almost like they're not watching it daily because because they're like supporting it today doesn't mean they're like gonna dump it tomorrow or something.
Yeah, it almost makes it easier to be involved in something.
Yes, because
way
like,
easier.
Yes,
actually.
yes. Because even as a 9-year-old, we were like, well, we just love Disney or whatever. And then obviously, like, please, guys, like I was a child. This is not like anyone's current opinion on anything. This is just a humble story from the before for Uptoshi times.
Is this about your love of Disney? We can talk about that.
What I was saying is like our group, we didn't really know how to trade, and so we were like, well, what seemed smart to us was to like just like go all in on Disney and then just let it ride. We were like, well, Disney's great. I think they're coming out with another movie.
See,
like,
I told you.
And so like there's a difference, I think, definitely between the types of people who trade in normal markets. There isn't a lot of like, there's definitely a market for NFT trading. I feel like we've definitely seen that slow down since we've kind of exited this like big PFP craze. When there was this big PFP whole situation happening, which was people dropping, this is about a year ago, definitely a year ago, exactly at this time. A year and a half ago, huge collections, like ones that you might have heard from your cousin at Thanksgiving, such as Bored Ape, or like that's the one that everyone knows about the most. But there are, you guys, thousands and thousands of collections that dropped like this, where they basically have a pool of 10,000 NFTs that all get like released at one time. It's supposed to be random. You go to their site, you push the mint button, you're randomly, whatever order of the art you got in, of your minting, of you being a holder, that's the random NFT you get. And then upon reveal of these PFPs, there's all these rare art traits. So some people's, NFT ends up becoming more valuable or worth more in the eyes of the community, because you could have some crazy like crown on your freaking thing that like only 10 people have in the entire collection.
And some of the collections, quite a few of them actually, minted like already revealed. So the second that it pretty much showed up in your wallet, you would know what you had. But a lot of other ones kind of use the reveal as a way to make the minting happen even after the mint was open, stuff like that. But yeah.
Well, and so because of that, right? So imagine you have all these holders that kind of come in at one time. If the project's fairly popular or gaining a lot of momentum and hype prior to like the point where you could go push that mint button, basically overnight, projects would kind of mint out, or all of the available tokens would no longer be available, and then everyone's a holder. At that point in time, traits, whatever, based off of what your NFT is or how the markets are moving. Obviously, once that last one's minted, if there's a lot of momentum and hype, there's gonna be a lot of people that didn't get one that are gonna now want to try to purchase one on secondary markets. There was, of course, a lot of different NFT marketplaces at the time, like not so many great ones. I think the main one being used was OpenSea. You can have your own opinions about the workings of OpenSea. I don't know. It's an NFT marketplace that seems to be like the one that most people know about. So secondary, meaning I could go to OpenSea, just as an example, and then I could look up that NFT collection in particular. I could see which ones I would want to buy. I could choose by traits, like maybe pay a little more. I could see what was on the floor, meaning like the very lowest amount that I would have to pay to acquire one. At this point in time, like because people start selling on secondary, a floor is established. So you do experience this like NFT trading thing. And then a lot of these big groups still exist today, and the trading within them still exists. But outside of that, it's not like you're coming in and if you're supporting an artist, not every NFT is like that. You can go, a famous photographer or someone who you want to mint their art. They could have their own utility to it. And you're probably not like running around flipping these other NFTs. And so it's just like really important to understand that there's a lot of different levels of your involvement in these communities. And just like before with the silly story of being like, we're going to go all in on Disney because we're just going to hold, a lot of people, might find a project that they really relate to. They really like the founder. They like the community that's being formed. A lot of times around these communities in NFT and in crypto.
And it's also really nice when you like more than one of those things.
Exactly. And in these communities, people form Discords, they form Telegrams, they form basically little hubs, Twitter spaces, where you can then go and in a second, just from your phone, you can tap into your community. And if you find out you like the people there, you might want to stay. So people have definitely during that whole big crazy NFT PFP time found their forever PFPs, basically something that they're kind of publicly saying like they don't really want to get rid of. Of course, everyone's going to do what they do over the course of the years. It's none of anyone's business what anyone does with their NFTs or their art or their money. But so you see people like kind of going around the space still with an NFT of a collection that they got in on like years ago. And so people hold to.
Well, and with things like CryptoPunks, that's like, that's the value, like I think apes have their own kind of like culture that, holds some type of value over there. But with like punks, the value I think is in like the OG nature, the fact that it's just OG. Mm-hmm. And people like them. They like the like pixelized thing and stuff like that. But I think it's about being early on that one.
I do too. GM to crypto. I always want to. Yeah, it is Crypto Gorilla. I don't know why I think of Coachella. There's like Glorilla, and so I just like can't get Glorilla out of my head. Crypto Gorilla GMTU. That little Turbo Toad needs nouns classes. I know. I didn't want to like go too obsessive like you guys. I'm already like so nouns out right now too.
I tried to do that on Nouns AI the other day.
So cute.
I couldn't get it to do it, but it was probably just me not prompting it or doing something.
Well, and so it's crazy. And we'll talk about the Turbo. Of course, how can we not talk about Turbo Toad? But I think laying the like ground for the environment right now requires someone who's brand new to kind of understand how things have been. And so after that PFP kind of craze and this big boom in that, and like NFTs are not dead, you guys. Like if anything, we are just barely beginning and scratching the surface. The utility that you kind of hear about all the time, people are just understanding how they can provide that. Is it a massive party? Like those things are beneficial because community members want to gather IRL. Of course, that's amazing. Is it you burn your token and you get merch? Is it a ticket? Is it an entrance into a token gated Discord for a musician where you're going to see them live perform? Like,
do you get to ride on a sailboat?
Yes. Like,
I mean, we got to ride on the sailboat and we didn't even have one.
Exactly. There's so many different things that haven't been discovered yet. Like even maybe using an NFT as like a internet identity thing where you could just start logging into accounts with it instead of using like a Gmail or something. I don't know. There's so many things and there's so many brilliant people already working on all of that stuff in the background. That whole thing is just alive still, and artists everywhere are trying to figure out how they can take more ownership over their own art and use NFTs to do that. There's a lot of different things you can do, and there's a lot of things that we don't even know yet, or that maybe a special group of people out there is working on right now too. So NFTs are alive and well. I'm a big, massive supporter of them just because I support the technology, and I'm a big believer in Ethereum.
I remember one part of your interview with Miss Hatton. And, she was talking about how when she first heard of NFTs as an artist and a photographer, she was like, there's no way I'm going to, do that with my beautiful big JPEGs and stuff like that. And so it's just like, but then she had a shift and realized that it actually like gave it provenance and gave it royalty opportunities and all these other things that you can do with NFTs. And I think that that's going to happen for not just thousands of artists, but like millions of artists around the world. I think we'll kind of have that revelation moment that, yes, of course, like there's weird things that happen with NFTs, but from just a technological standpoint, it's the most empowering technology, especially digital artists have had. I think people are still trying to figure out how to use it for like in real life artists or artists that paint oil paintings and things like this. And people are already doing that by like putting NFC chips on the back of things or doing stuff like that. All of that technology will get smaller, faster, better. And so it's just like,
Well, and let's like,
yeah, it's amazing.
let's do like a quick exercise. I do like to challenge myself because I do want my stream to be something a little bit more open and more broad. I don't want people to feel like there's so much language being thrown around that doesn't feel like comfortable. Like it doesn't feel comfortable to be in a space. I encourage you to never be the smartest person in the space. Enter spaces where you don't know what people are talking about. But I do want to dial it back and sort of, if you can't conceptualize how an NFT might be beneficial for an artist, what, you know, the benefits of them owning that work or something, like, let's just give a few examples of that, right? So let's say I am a musician in my own right, because anyone who's at home making music, it's okay if you don't have a large network. If you can put a song out and you do some beats and like you do your little song over it, great. And with all of the AI technology today and things you can do to tweak your voice, like you really can be your own little one person kind of producer. So let's say for an example, you're this one man band kind of producer, you've dropped tracks before on things like SoundCloud or Spotify. You are focused on potentially maybe releasing lyric videos or something so you can get streams. You're just kind of trying to build yourself right now too, because you don't really have an agent or a manager. You're not necessarily like running around touring or anything, but you do have music that you're starting to put out. What you could do with that music, and like, let's take one song, for example, is you could mint it as an NFT. And what that means is you're putting it now, that sound, whatever you have as the little image of it, your voice, your little beat, you're putting it on the Ethereum blockchain, and you're basically like attaching this thing called a smart contract to it. And it's almost like if you just like went to the bank and you could deposit your song and say, here, like this is its thing now. There would have you'd have like a line that the contract address itself has one number associated with it that's a mix of numbers and letters. And there's places like Etherscan where anyone can take that contract address number, search it, and see every single transaction that's happened, including the moment you launched it, how much it cost. So when people walk around and tell you that NFTs are all about transparency and stuff, this is what they mean. This is what they mean. From day one, your NFT is the most transparent thing ever, as you owning it. Whoever owns that contract address and deploys it owns it. Okay, that's what the ownership is. And then you get to see everything that happens with it from that point on.
Well, you own if you deploy the contract, you can be the owner of the contract. But if you buy a token just as like a community person who's buying tokens, you own that token ID.
Oh, and then so as a token ID, so this is a great thing. So when you deploy this smart contract of your NFT, in this case, your one song you're putting up, you get to choose the parameters of how this all goes down. Are you releasing 100? Are you opening up mint for 3 days and whoever gets in, gets in? Basically, you're getting to say...
And we call that tokenomics.
Oh, okay, thank you.
And
Tokenomics.
the project founders have to make these decisions in the beginning before the contracts are deployed.
Yes.
They actually have to do it while they're writing the contracts.
Yes. And, you know, the world of that whole experience has really transformed over the last year, especially.
And that's what Rhett did with AI.
Yes. But wait, hold on. So basically, this smart contract and you deploying this is code. It's Solidity code if you're doing anything on the Ethereum network. And so before, you had to learn that, or you had to know a Solidity developer. But where we are now in this NFT craze and boom and is like the best part. It's like, imagine like when the internet first came, you probably had to like really know what the hell you were doing to even get on it. And then after that, everyone came in and made it easier for people. So we're in that phase for NFTs where like really brilliant people and huge groups are making things easier for people to do so that you don't have to learn code to develop or drop an NFT collection. Right now, there's so many sites. I think Zora is one of them where you can just upload your track. You set the parameters and you click send, and it does it all for you. It does the contract. This is really great because back in the ye old times, and I am someone that had to like, me and Shefo were like learning Solidity code, and we've dropped like test projects and stuff too. But back in those times, people were dropping contracts and kind of doing that, and there was vulnerabilities in these contracts, and people were finding ways to kind of send a bot or develop the code.
Not in the ones that we were doing.
No. But
in
in
people's
general,
contracts,
in general.
Yeah, for sure. And I think a lot of times the vulnerabilities were in things like bridges, swaps, dexes,
Or
things like
pre-sales. Like if a wallet was only allowed to mint a certain amount, which you would want to do so that someone can't just come in and do something crazy with your account. But then like there could be a vulnerability where they could just do it from different wallets and it wasn't realizing that it was the same person. Like that's a very niche kind of thing. But now it's easy, okay? Now it's so easy for artists that even if you don't know what's happening, like you should just drop one song. Take one of your songs as an example and just kind of mess around with that and see like what you could do, because you'll have ownership over it. You get to say what happens with that token. Now if people, so let's say I mint your song. I love it. This is so cool. I want to support this artist. I mint it. It's now sitting, I'm just holding, I don't know why, is it like my wallet, my Ethereum wallet? I'm just like holding it like this because it's my phone. All of this is happening digitally, but like it's just in my wallet. So when I go outside and oh my God, now this artist who I have this NFT for, he's playing his first show. That is so cool. It's $20 to get in. Or if you have one of his original NFTs, you get to get in with that. And then like I get to come and show my NFT, and now I have utility. Like, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, Sheffield, too, but like I just get so excited about this too, because like I said, we're just scratching the surface of what artists are going to offer as like these creative things to do with their NFTs. But right now, as of today, and as of like a year and a half ago, you right now can deploy your little song as an NFT. So that's all I have to say about that.
You know what I'm excited for?
What are you excited for?
For bringing guests on. I think we'll start doing that next week. We have to practice that. We've that's kind of where we're driving to for next week's shows. But I think that some of our great first round guests will probably be some of our NFT music artist friends. And so we'll probably hear some really amazing stories actually about how they've gone through this like entire empowerment process with the technology. So I'm super looking forward to that one. And I'm looking forward to kind of like documenting some of those interviews. I don't know how many of those interviews have been had with, you know, some of those artists that we've had a chance to make friends with. So that should be a lot of fun.
Yep. And if you watch the stream, you know that kind of, I think, like I said at the very beginning, I don't really collect too many NFTs. I like to support artists that I believe in. But every time I talk about NFTs, especially lately, like I tend to just like go straight to music. I feel like there's a really strong NFT push that's going to happen with music next. It's going to be revolutionary in my mind, not financial advice, but there's just something about the passion of a musician.
I think you'll see fashion as well. Like, I mean, it's already happening, but I think you'll see, you know, more known fashion influencers and brands, you know, pretty much using NFC chip technology for fashion. I think you'll definitely see that. Yep.
I agree. Crypto Gorilla, when games or something will let you use that actual voice for AI for your own projects and stuff too.
Oh, like, speaking of fashion, 41 put out a tweet about how he wants to do a passion project, hobby project, where he wants to make a Gore-Tex ski jacket. And he like put out this tweet. You should totally pull it up.
That's cool.
And like it was like it has to be tough. It has to be rough. It has to do this. It like has to look good. Like he has these requirements, and he's like looking for a team.
Cool.
So, yeah, definitely. But maybe he'll turn them into NFTs as well. That would be amazing.
Yes, I'm so sorry I keep like leaning forward. For some reason, like my big chat thing's not working, so I have to like squint and see what you guys are saying. But could always mint those songs as NFTs, and whoever owns them gets a portion of that 50%. Yes. Okay, what a great example. This is where AI being huge right now is just everything. Grimes, the musician, is a great example of this. I have been a Grimes stan since like years ago, guys, like way day one. Like I was there, like I cried when I saw the first ever like Grimes and Elon Musk photo. I was like, what is happening when he brought her to the Met Gala. Okay. I had been listening to her for years. She is the perfect example of what we're talking about right now. She literally was the one-man band producer. Her original albums, she made every single sound that you hear from her computer in her like a 2-bedroom apartment that she shared with her dad, you guys. Like, she is just all of us. She's that artist that like is just gonna make it no matter what. But anyways, why this is important and matters, she's obviously like very well known now. And her music is all over the place, and there's this huge craze right now with music in general. I'm sure you guys have all seen it. It's going viral everywhere with AI voices kind of coming over these songs, such as Drake, Kanye. Like, people have made statements like, this is copyright infringement, like this is not cool. But in that, other artists such as Grimes have said, actually, use my voice. And if you make an AI song that like makes it and it like becomes popular in any fashion, I'll split the royalties with you 50%. So basically, as an artist, she's saying like, use my voice, and if you make it, like, we'll both make it. It is the coolest example of what we can do to like form communities, I think, through AI and not be afraid of it. It's freaking epic that people are doing that. But yes, I agree that with games, that could be very interesting. Even like Overwatch, for example. Like, obviously chat, I don't know if there's any nerds in here, but chat is like set up to look like an Overwatch chat. But let's say like all of the Overwatch or Blizzard Activision said, you can use our voices, our AI voices on music or in your game and stuff too. Like, it would also benefit Blizzard. Like, this is what we've learned within Nouns. Like, Nouns' whole purpose is to like do good with like no expectation of return. Use these noggles on everything. Like, I am never not wearing something with freaking noggles on it. I'm not even kidding you guys. Like, and in that, as I'm out there spreading it, Nouns is being spread. Even though like I've taken on Nouns as like a live stream, other people have taken on Nouns as an esports team. There is a Nouns Dota 2 team right now. In that world, when you say, do you know what a noun is? Everybody would be like, yeah, it's the Dota 2 team.
There's a Nouns Deli.
There's a Nouns Deli being formed right now in Melbourne.
Being rebranded, reskinned, ready to go. Nounified. Nounified.
Yes, and it really shows you the power.
I think it's the one, I honestly, like, besides like, you know, our props, like, I think it's the one that I'm personally most excited about as a chef.
I agree. How could you not be? I do want to just remind everybody who's in my TikTok, hey, we actually have a live stream. Go over to the live stream. My link is in my bio, so you can actually hear what we're talking about. I always feel bad for everybody on TikTok. They like get this side of my face, and I know that it's just not the best user experience, but you know, come to the front cam. It'll be so much better. I promise you'll enjoy it so much more. I do love the Saturday stream. It just feels so much more like organic and calm. I think everybody else feels a little calmer who's tuning in. People are kind of just like figuring out what they could do, except not this Saturday so much. There's a lot of energy and hype right now. And I think now your basic understanding of NFTs, if you're just tuning in or learning about this for the first time, is going to help you for this next segment of probably what we're going to talk about, okay? Because, you know, NFTs have formed this whole world. There's a crypto world, there's an NFT world. There's some people that only do NFTs, and there's some people that only do crypto. But this week, something crazy has happened. And we've kind of come out of that PFP season we were talking about with NFTs, and we've entered a meme coin season. Meme coins. Coins meaning it's crypto. There's no NFTs attached to it. It's like a normal trading environment.
The vast majority of the meme coins are on Ethereum and they're ERC20 tokens, but you do get meme coins on things like Solana and the other chains. But yes, they are technically an ERC20 token usually.
Yep, and they're launching and they're gaining momentum because huge communities are getting behind specific coins right now. And what I've noticed is my entire newsfeed on Twitter, that's like my main account that I kind of rock with, except for TikTok. I love TikTok. It's like the most hilarious app ever. I can't even believe how funny everybody across the world is. Love TikTok. But Twitter is where I get all my news. It's where I see things happening in real time. It's where I see what's trending. It's really important to have Twitter and to sort of really learn how to interface with Twitter. If this is a world you kind of want to get into, there's information happening, so much information. It's all happening so freaking fast, you guys. These coins that we're about to talk about, One of them is only 2.5 weeks old. The other one, this little turbo, what side is he? Look at this little guy. This little turbo toe token.
Let's see this cute guy again.
He is only 6 days old. We're on day 6. Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I always say like he and him for everybody. I don't know. This little thing, Quantum Leap, it's only 6 days old.
Cute.
Only 6 days old. The story itself is barely a week old. And if that's not an indicator of how fast things can move, let me just tell you that basically, let me check this right now. As much as it's only 6 days old, it is about to reach a 200 million market cap potentially. I don't want to call it too soon. We're sitting at 196 million market cap right now with
how many holders?
14,930 holders, you guys.
Wow.
6 days. Can you imagine rallying a community in 6 days that was 15,000 strong and held a market cap of nearly $200 million? And the reason why all of this is important, just like my little story back from 3rd grade, like going all in on Disney, because I just believed in it. This coin is a little bit different because there's a story behind it. A lot of these things launch and we have no idea who the person is that launched it.
A narrative.
Yes. We have no idea who did it. We can't relate to them. We don't know why they did it. But all we can go off of is like how the community is reacting to it. This is different. This is the first AI coin, AI art coin. And of course, other people might have done an AI coin, but this is the first of its kind because it is the first one, I'm sorry, that launched and then reached like 1 million market cap overnight. And that is because the person that launched it used AI to do it. It was an artist named Rhett Mankind.
You know what I've realized actually just a few days into this thing? Like, as important as the AI was, you know what was just as important?
What?
Twitter.
Yes. Always.
Him being able to use his Twitter account to validate his own decision making so that he could actually like make himself go through with the process. The Twitter platform literally facilitated the project almost as much as the AI.
Yes. So thank you, Rhett, first of all, Mankind, the artist. Thank you, OpenAI, ChatGPT-4. And thank you, Twitter, Elon Musk, because using those tools, this person was able to then communicate with their community. They had been an artist in the space for years. People have been following them. He's just an all-around good person, as confirmed by the artists who have followed him for years in the community that is so clearly been formed around him. Yeah, he's really, really cool. He launches this coin. He asks ChatGPT to make the most successful meme coin using a total of $69. And over the course of a week, he has this communication with ChatGPT-4,
Is there
OpenAI.
any particular reason why people use that number all the time in Web3? I'm just kidding.
I was about to be like, I don't know if that's the lesson we want to give to the people today.
Meme season, baby. Let's go.
Just because meme, it's, there's 2 meme numbers. It's 69 and it's 420. But basically
they're both pretty cool.
He gave it this budget, and from this budget, he kept asking the AI questions. And then if he didn't understand something, he'd have to be like, I don't understand that. You have to explain that to me more. Or if the AI gave him a list of options for things, he went back to his Twitter community, which I think at the time was probably sitting between 10 and 11,000 followers. And he would do polls to see what people thought that he should do. And then the majority winner on those polls would be, that decision was made, and then he'd go to the next decision. So after about a week of back and forth, not even a week, a couple of days of back and forth, I want to say 3 to 4 days with AI, with the community, and after getting through many hurdles, him almost wanting to fail twice, not wanting to, but not really being able to see a way through, especially with this budget of $69, people in the community rallied, and through those potential fail points, and this thing was launched 6 days ago. And since that point in time, the community that has gathered has been artists, really positive people in the space. We see a bridge between the NFT community and the crypto community like I've never seen before. We have people who have never sold artwork come up on stage and like share their story and get it minted right there on spot. Like it is like such a lesson in maintaining your goodness and it paying off later. or at some point, or when it's supposed to. I don't know. And having some wherewithal and patience to sit with yourself there. And I know that's got to be just the thing that you don't want to hear if you're maybe in a place right now where you're like, I've been patient. I've been good. Like, where is my turn? But I promise you, if you just maintain that goodness, like, you're going to be seen eventually, because what ended up happening is he was really struggling as an artist. He wasn't selling his work. He was questioning if he should be in this anymore. And through that sort of stillness and silence of him really having this question within himself, he got inspired to say, well, maybe I should just build random stuff and experiment at this time since my artwork isn't selling anyways. And that's when he prompted ChatGPT, and then he followed it through, and then the community rallied behind him. And so through this, his art has become known now. People are collecting his art that's on auction every single day. It's beautiful artwork. They're changing their profile photos to be his art. It's really, really beautiful. And I really do think that in this particular case, an amazing artist in person, a good person, got seen. He's been seen. We see him. We rallied behind him. After the first sort of few days, I obviously love this story. This is not financial advice. Like, both of us hold Turbo. Not financial advice at all. This is only my personal story of why I would do that. But since I did that, I went into the Discord and started becoming a part of this incredible community, meeting all the people there. And you see like the Discord starting to come together. All of a sudden, I'm on like the general chat, and the whole thing flips into a community Discord. The photo goes up. Channels are starting to be made.
I haven't jumped in yet today.
Oh my God, it's good. I have it open right now. It's my like.
I have to run off camera real quick. So
I'll go main. It basically, over the Discord has like formed itself through people getting involved in the capacity that they wish to get involved. And so, is everything good? Yep. Okay. As much as I can like multitask things, I feel like I can't. Like, I'm trying to like talk, but I like see there. I'm like, hey, Sheffo. Everybody has kind of come in and stepped up in very different ways. And so I saw people asking for spaces in the community Discord. When you're a part of something like this and in this community, you want a Twitter space because you want to be able to gather in and go into a room where everybody is, and to say hi and to like share stories and to like see what the vibe is like. And there hadn't been huge spaces yet. And 5 to 6 people stepped up as Discord mods, so the Discord started popping off. I had just gotten off of a live stream, these live streams, Nouns in the Air, and I was just like feeling it. I was like, this is so cool. Like, I just need to tell people this story. There's this video that launched of Rhett Mankind, basically for 40 minutes, an uncut video explaining his entire thought process, and I could not put that down. I had done a live stream where we had like live reacted to it. If you guys haven't seen it yet, go to today's episode 12. Go back 2 episodes. Episode 10. Episode 10, we watched the whole video together. You can meet this artist yourself. He's really an amazing person. But I was just like coming off of those vibes, and I was just like, God, like I actually like I really believe in this. And so I just went in the Discord and said, like, do we want a Twitter Spaces? Like, I'll start one. Should I start one? And people were like, yes. And so we kind of held the first like marathon spaces. We all hung out for hours in the first, I think it was day 3. And while we were all talking, the price of it was dropping down. I think there was like FUD happening, or this like negative conversations around it for absolutely no reason. And we just saw it dropping. And in that moment is when I realized like, this is actually a project I really believe in, because no one in the space like was freaking out. We were all meeting each other. We were meeting artists. We finally get to connect. And like, I personally finally get to connect with people that I've been watching in this space for a really, really long time, and who I feel like are finally like seeing me. And like, because we all gathered around this one thing, which was good people deserve to make it, and good people will make it. And Rhett Mankind is all of us, because we're all, struggling with our own hopes and beliefs about ourselves, about pushing through and what it looks like. And anytime you can see an entrepreneur making it, dude, that is just like another thing stamped into your unconscious that you can hold on to and take as like inspiration in those moments where you need it. So this was all happening so fast. We did the community spaces. In the space, I think it was like 3 hours in, we start to see a turnaround, and people started watching his video. People started hearing the story. It is undeniably amazing. It's just so connected to this perfect moment in time, especially with this boom of AI. Getting to hear about a struggling artist like creating something not just for himself but for everybody, something that we could all get in on. He didn't ask ChatGPT, help me make the next piece of art that someone's going to buy for the most I've ever sold. He didn't ask ChatGPT, help me become the best artist ever. He said, help him make something that like other people can be involved in. So it started taking an upswing. The Discord started popping off. Everyone, positive vibes all around. We're just like, oh my God, this is like what we believe in. Like, this is the story. Next day, I do another live stream. We're like, let's go and do a spaces. I had scheduled a spaces. Like, let's just keep the community spaces going. I loved hearing people kind of were coming up to the speaker section for the first time. Like, this is the first time I've ever spoken on Twitter. I also think that that's very exciting. I really started getting, going when I was able to connect in Twitter spaces and talk to other people. It's really, really important that you connect with people that you believe in and like, and that you get to, the craziest part about it is that not only is it important, but on Twitter spaces, you could literally enter a space with someone like Elon and get pulled up on space, like on stage, and raise your hand and they'll be like, hey, Obtoshi, what question do you have for Elon Musk? And I could ask Elon Musk a question. Oh, are you back? Oh, here we go. Hey.
Hey, I was waiting for Elon to come in the other day, and maybe he will at some point. But like, why wouldn't he? Like it's a coin for those like space people. Like it's a coin for, I don't know, like literally people on Twitter. And so, I mean, again, not financial advice, but.
Well, that's what I mean too about like, you could, obviously I've never been on a stage where Elon Musk was there and I got to talk to him, but like there have been people.
There is a huge difference between like someone coming on stage and saying I've never been in a Twitter space, and then someone else coming on stage and saying I own Twitter.
Yes. Okay. But why this is cool is because yesterday we formed these spaces and it was just a scheduled space. It was just the community members at first. And then all of a sudden we're all kind of just talking and meeting each other again too. And Rhett Mankind comes in the space.
That was amazing. That was not planned.
That was not planned. People were
Fully.
asking me in the Discord, like, is he going to come? I'm like, I have no idea. If he wants to come, he can. I knew it was like really early morning time in Australia. So I wasn't quite sure. This was at 4 p.m. our time yesterday. He comes in the space, you guys. We bring him up on stage, and then we have this impromptu 3-hour AMA where people come up to the stage, are so politely raising their hand. Everyone goes in order, asks Rhett a question or throws flowers at him and says congratulations and stuff too. And then, they say thank you. They drop down. The next speaker comes up and asks a question, and he stays there for 3 hours with the community and really talks to everybody. He was so clear in his responses. Like, I'm not going to, probably maybe we can pull up some samples from that space. I do want to like have clips from it. I think it's really important. And I think it's the longest he's ever been interviewed so far, which is really cool. But basically by the end of the space, over 2,500 people, I think I said 2.7 thousand the last time I checked, or 3,000. I think people were like listening to it afterwards, had gotten the experience to actually hear from the artist himself. This does not happen with these coins. Okay. That was the coolest part about all of it. And then Rhett got to kind of meet everybody as well. And hearing the amazing, beautiful things that people were coming up and saying. I think we had one troll the entire 3 hours, one troll. They basically came up and then they did the polite thing by raising their hand and then they like shouted out some like thing. And so I had to remove
It wasn't
them
even
from the
that
space.
bad.
Wasn't even that bad.
Obteshi, you know what I just realized?
What?
That if you mess your hair up live, you have to fix your hair live.
I wasn't going to tell you that you had like a little alfalfa.
What is happening? Don't ever let me go with an alfalfa little thing, dog. Whoa, bro.
I was going to tell you, but I was...
Okay. I see how it is.
You look amazing right now. It's so funny you said that because I was going to ask you.
Well, then I'm over here flicking my mullet, trying to get that thing fucking all aligned.
I'm sorry.
Hey, you know, it's the weekend, baby.
I was like wondering if the angle of how you were seeing yourself is like the alfalfa was like covered or something and you couldn't see it, but I didn't know if that was also something you were going for. I'm not going to like step in front of your fashion choices.
I'll let you know on that one.
Oh my God. That's hilarious. I'm still in shock that we got the space that got to do a 3-hour AMA with Rhett. Incredible people
Man,
who were
that
coming
3
to the
hours went
spaces.
by super quickly. When you said like, "Oh, we've been here for 3 hours," I was like, "Nah, don't bullshit me." And I haven't. It hasn't been 3 hours of my life, but it was. It was really. It was awesome. It really, it was amazing. There was literally like former Google developers.
Yep.
People who had not been in spaces before, who were coming from like corporate America. There were artists who were using Turbo to mint art. Some of the first probably 20 artists in the history of the world to use Turbo to mint a piece of art. I mean, pretty insane, pretty like
oh my God, there was a
historic.
person that came up and basically like at some point in time, she had shared that she was a struggling artist, but she loved Rhett's work. And she kind of reached out to him and like, would you be willing to do a trade for art? And she was rocking a PFP with his artwork that they had done for a trade. And like, if that doesn't speak to the type of person that he is, like, I don't know what does. And like,
You know what was super interesting from an art standpoint? This was awesome. So, and like, I already, from looking at some of his art, kind of like felt like he would say something like this, but he's influenced heavily by the Mona Lisa. And the
wow.
Yeah, he spoke about that a little bit.
I'm gonna pull up his stuff right now.
But the Mona Lisa, the reason why it's famous, one of the reasons is because it was a transitional period in painting, and it represented things that hadn't been achieved before in that medium, and so for him to really just believe in that as an artist,
Wow.
not to mention just aesthetically, like build that into his look,
Wow.
is super cool. And so, I mean, you definitely can see the Mona Lisa in these things. And so it's just like,
Yeah, that like, forward facing portrait and
The
like that
deadpan.
emotion on the, yes,
I mean, those are a little bit forward facing, like, but again, Mona Lisa, like as he was
This
saying,
one, oh my God, beautiful.
gorgeous. And, he's using, computers and this, that, but it's still like artistically sound and has like a look, a vibe, a feeling. It does incorporate like classical traditional elements, but then he's like breaking the mold, like even the way he's framing those faces where like the top of the head is cut off, like that would have never happened traditionally, right? And so but the way that like the eyes have certain shapes,
Yeah, I do
the
appreciate that.
cheekbones, the way that the lighting is done, across the nose, like these
You're
things.
so right about the cropping of the head. I hadn't really.
Yeah, it's very like postmodern, and interesting, futuristic.
It is very interesting.
It drives you to the actual eyes and to the character, as opposed to just like seeing this person sitting in a.
She's
in a thing.
gorgeous. Yeah, and almost like not being afraid to cut off the collarbone.
Yeah,
That the important thing was actually the what's going on with the face.
it's super cool, and his art.
Wow.
Again, not like art buying advice, but I would assume that what is going on will probably like affect his
Wow, look at that
art
one.
collections. They're really gorgeous, and I've actually thought about it. Like, I would probably want to buy one of these NFTs and actually print it large and like put it on the wall. I think they're fairly. I mean, they're not.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
They're captivating.
I would totally do that.
Yeah, exactly, and they're really dope. Kind of just to signify like our joy that we're finding in the community. I think it's super neat.
Wow.
Hopefully he can get them. I think he said he was working to get or trying to talk to Foundation to see if they'll use Turbo in the same way that Manifold is using Turbo. But all fascinating, a little bit hard to keep up with, but here we are now.
I just wanted to put this on the screen for anybody just to make sure that you're, in times where people are really blowing up or their project is getting a lot of traction, it's when all the scam artists come and like they'll create fake Twitter accounts that have like just a letter or an extra number or something, and it's really hard to tell the difference. So if you do want to follow this artist, Rhett Mankind, this is his Twitter, at RHETT, at Rhett.
It's a pretty epic Twitter
The only
handle,
Twitter,
too.
yeah, I know. The only Twitter, 18.8 thousand followers. I followed him when it was under 11. That's insane. Obviously, he's blowing up. I was going to pull up too, like, this is the video that we have been referencing this whole time while talking about Rhett Mankind. This is that 36-minute, I just ran up and said 40-minute video. how I use AI to make a $20 million meme coin. That meme coin's currently sitting at over $180 million market cap. But when we first watched this video, I think it was at like 3,000 views. It's sitting at 42,000 views right now and climbing. Rhett himself has gotten, I've watched him go up like, now he has, oh my God, 43.2 thousand. He's gone up like 2,000 YouTube subscribers since this has happened. The community is so real. I am so just like floored by what people have done to show their support for this artist, for what he's done. And really, like, it feels like this overall, just like for me personally, general support of AI and technology. Like, we can't be afraid of the future of technology. Oh yeah, that's fine. We can't be afraid of the future of technology, and you definitely can't be afraid of something that you're like, that feels way too big. I don't feel like I have the brain power or stamina to even take in however much information I'm gonna have to take in to learn about this thing. You guys, that's just not the way it is anymore. These things are made easy. When we say AI, I'm not saying like go to your basement and like craft a freaking motherboard that you're gonna have to learn to talk to. When we say AI, this is an open AI interface. ChatGPT-4, anyone can access that. Anyone can go to OpenAI right now and use ChatGPT 3 or 3.5. These data elements that they pull from are a little less sophisticated. It definitely starts getting a little bit more sophisticated and really detailed on ChatGPT 4 for a small subscription. But that's something you could do right now. Like, that's what AI has become, a website for you that you could just talk to, and you're plugged into it right away. The second it's there, it's just a screen. It says, ask me a question, ask anything. If you can type a question into Google, and if you like hardwired your brain into every time you have a question, you just go to the internet and type in Google, just switch it up and do ChatGPT 4. AI is insane, and it's so much better. When you go into Google and do a search of how am I going to make a meme coin, you're going to get SEO'd out. You're going to get whoever blog poster, random person in freaking Tennessee SEO'd their blog in the correct way. Like, that's going to be pushed to the top first. Or you're going to get ads from people that they paid to be the first thing that you see. Not ChatGPT. You could be like, what are these 3 things that happens? And it scans all of the data that it can. Right now, it's data that's been stored up to 2021. So there's unique things that you could do to continue to teach it. That's the other thing about it. But it basically scans all the data everywhere and gives you its answer. And you can communicate with it. You could be like, hey, that's not clear enough. And it will be like, I'm sorry, like, let me break it down in a little bit of a better way. It can, like, I asked it to make me a social media calendar, and it did. And then I asked it to be more detailed, like exact time of day, exact day, what was the exact content I was going to be posting. And it broke it down all the way to that, you guys. Like, ChatGPT is incredible. I would really have, like, my best advice for people to be just like that observation period thing. Just mess around with it. There's no harm in opening it up just like another website and talking to it. And in that 2 years that it has kind of missed stuff, you can also teach it. Everybody that's typing into it right now is teaching it. It's taking that on and taking that data set and like adding it to its whole breadth of thing. If you could say, actually, that's not the correct answer. This is the correct answer based off of this, and trying to explain something to him. See, again, I say him, trying to explain something to it. I don't even know what AI would be. It takes that information and learns and then adapts to you. So it's incredible, and it's the tool, just that website, you guys, just that website. That's the tool that Rhett used to actually launch this coin, because he just asked it for one prompt, and then one prompt turned into another prompt. And when I say launch the coin, you guys, as much as it's a website available for you, you have to mess around with it. There's so many different things it could do. There's, art. You guys have seen a lot of AI generated art that's happening on things like Midjourney. I know a lot of people are creating art like I like to do on Nouns AI. That's NounsAI.wtf. That's where I would start, maybe, is like art. So go to NounsAI.wtf, and actually, let me just, once Shefa's back on screen, we'll do a window capture and kind of walk people through, but you're gonna have to get better at prompting. When you type to this thing and ask it a question or do anything, you're giving it a prompt and then it's responding. But it reacts better to better prompts. And that is why this is so special, because anyone can open ChatGPT 4 and say, help me make a meme coin. But Rhett was this person, and this very specific person who specifically prompted it in his own unique way for it to get to where it is right now. So that's all really interesting and exciting. But if you mess around with the AI art, you'll realize like it's not easy to prompt to kind of get what you really want. You really have to work with it. Like those incredible, hyper realistic AI photos that you guys are seeing, the prompts for those things are like this big. And it's like giving exact references of artists that you want AI to kind of pull from for this creation that you want. And you can't just write in yellow toad with Elon Musk. That'll like give you something like really not great. You have to like say hyper realistic in a galaxy. But I don't know. I'm not very good at prompting. I've been trying to learn how to be better at it. I actually took like a very hyper realistic Turbo Toad token photo that someone had made. And in Nouns AI, you can actually get a prompt from an image by just uploading the image. And I tried to do that with like the amazing image, and like I got like a 2D like crayon drawing with Elon with like a yellow thing that didn't even look like a toad. So you do have to get better at prompting if you want to utilize it in a really cool way. So I just think that that's really important to speak on as well, because I do find AI art to be valuable. If you can create something that looks absolutely incredible, like not everyone can create that. I feel like the prompt itself is valuable. It's almost like a screenshot of the prompts could be made into NFTs for people to use in the future. I don't know. This is like where my mind goes when it comes to AI. But that for me is the main reason why this story is so incredible, because it is a mixture of an artist, it's a mixture of AI, and it's like this addition of, on top of all of that, community, and seeing how community members within the Turbo Token community are coming together and rallying and doing different things, like making the Discord a fun, safe space, like doing Twitter spaces like how I do. Again, yesterday's space, Rhett did come. We don't know who's coming to this space today. I do know that there's going to be a couple of the community members that are all about it. So we will see them in there as well. But if you're interested in hearing more about this specific thing, you can come to that space today on my Twitter. Just follow my Twitter at @Obtoshi_NFT. And the space is right there pinned to the top. We're just going to hang out in there. Yesterday, we were there for like 3.5 hours. It flew by. I don't know who's going to come up today, but what I do know is that if you're an artist and you're in the community, please feel free to come up, share your art, come to I'll put you right up to speaker. We could pin your art to the top. I really want it to be a safe, amazing, fun, positive vibes space where people feel like they can come and share or talk or do anything, right? Or even just hang out and listen. I'm a big believer of, why I love this live stream is because I know that it can be something that people just have on in the background. So as much as you can be here with us live Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 10 to 12, you can also just like throw on the video, or all of the episodes are also available audio only on all your favorite podcasting platforms, such as Spotify or Apple Podcasts. I do feel like this is something that people could just kind of throw on in the background. And I think that that is very important in a world where there is so much noise and a lot of maybe language we don't understand, because at the end of the day, what I think you will receive when you listen to this specific podcast, Nouns on the Air, is positive vibes. I'm always just really supportive of others. I know that like us celebrating others brings that amazing energy to everybody. Like it just gets bigger and bigger. High tide raises all boats. I've said that a million times. It's something I've always believed in. I always believe in like just being true to yourself, no matter what people are saying or doing. And I know that if you can just do that, that can sometimes provide moments of your life that feel very isolated. That isolated feeling I'm very, very familiar with. I think you can go through different phases where maybe there's isolation because you are just kind of focusing on yourself for a second, and you kind of maybe lose some people that weren't aligned to you, or you're just on your own personal journey, and choosing to have that experience. But in that isolation, there's a lot of room and actually opportunity for you to attract and magnetize yourself to others that are in alignment with you, in alignment with what you believe in. They've also maybe isolated and held true to what they believe in so that you guys can have this moment. And I just really know that somewhere out there, there's someone that just needs to hear probably that it's okay. It can be scary and way too quiet in that moment of isolation, but be patient, be true to yourself, and you will get all of the inspiration that you need to know who are people that you can let into your life or not, and what are experiences that you can allow to happen in your life or not. The power is in you. I hope that you feel empowered to just know that it's going to be okay, and that you actually have the choice, and you do have the willpower. That was the big part of Rhett's story. He got very intimate with us on the space yesterday and shared about his moments of isolation and focus as an artist. And he literally said that there was one point of his life that he had to claw his way out of. And that was something I very much related to on a personal level. I don't want to get all sappy and crazy and weird on this, but it's not sappy and crazy and weird. It's life. And I feel like it's probably an experience that more people have than not. And it's definitely an experience that you're not running around and sharing with people. And so there's not a lot of noise behind it. And so that's where that isolation feeling comes from. Like, you're the only person having this experience. But I'm telling you, Rhett kind of confirmed for everybody that he was having it. And if this person is having this feeling down in Australia, there's a bunch of us all over the world that are feeling the exact same way. And that's okay, because getting to watch him make it and shine and be amazing is so important. Are you back, Shefo? What?
Yep, I'm back.
Hey, how's it going? Is everything okay?
Oh, everything's great. I just wanted to play with the computer.
I know it's in this moment. So it's crazy because it is this crazy coin moment. So I have my charts kind of open on my computer just while we're all doing this. I am learning more about charting. It's been really fun. And again, I'm in my observation period for that. I like to see what other people chart and what they're kind of calling.
You're technically in the observation period.
Ooh, you're really loving that lately.
Dude, I mean.
The observation period.
You are
I like that. But I am seeing what people are charting and seeing what they're saying about it, and then just taking the time to see if that happens or whatever's going on. And there are crazy patterns that you can see. It's so fascinating. And I think more than anything, the very fascinating part is there is so much money just flying around the world. It's crazy to me. And you always hear about this abundant energy that you can just potentially tap into. I think it's just always around. I think that those scary moments where people are fudded into thinking there's a lack of money or resources on the planet, that is just not true. Do not let people make you think that.
Well,
mentally.
There's
as a metaphor.
Yes.
Metaphorically,
yes. We need to work better together as human beings to make sure that abundance.
Well, because the abundance I'm talking about isn't, maybe there's not physical things, but it's this mental awareness of abundance. I know that sounds fucking crazy. I've had times in my life where literally I was flipping cushions on my couch to find dimes to go to the freaking McDonald's down the street to get dollar menu things, just to have a burger for the day or something, or some food. I have had nothing. And when I speak about resources and money and stuff too, just please know that I really just want it to be talked about in this very inspiring way. And I don't want to overshadow certain things that people are going through. And I just really, when I'm talking about abundance and stuff too, I'm really talking about a mentality that you could be in, because if you're in a mental state of abundance, you will magnetize and attract people that are also that. And when I say there's money flying around the world, I mean that there's a lot of money just flying around. I think just look at the coins and what they've done in the last couple of days. The fact that something could go to 180 million market cap after 6 days, that's from random people from around the world being I believe in it, and throwing even just $10 at it or something. But you see all of this abundance mentality that's around, and once you kind of get a whiff of that, you realize that that is like a state of mind that you would strive to be in because it's attracting you towards others that have that. An abundance mentality isn't just physical money, you guys. It's not just physical wealth. It's like what you think about yourself. If you're an abundance mentality, you're going to go out into the world and like meet awesome people because you're just going to be like smiling. I don't know. You're going to feel abundant and people are going to feel that on you and be like, oh my God, who are you? Hi. You're going to like wave at someone instead of like staring down at your feet while you walk by, like in that wave of like you not just, if you're sad and like just like walking, right, you're not like making eye contact with anybody. Who knows what happens when you like look up and just wave at a person and make eye contact? Like what if that person that day needed someone just to wave at them?
Can we get a wave? How would you do, what would that look like if you were just walking down the street and they, like
oh no, mine is like, no, it's actually like the same every time. It's just like the awkward like
that
smile.
is deaf your wave. Can we do another one? Do you have another kind of wave? Like,
yeah.
There's another one. That was it. Oh.
When I'm like really excited. No, I do the awkward smile, like that meme of that smile. Yes, I do.
So you're a waver.
I'm desperate for the computer cord.
You're definitely a waver.
Hold on. Are you plugged in?
No.
Okay.
You can do your thing over there.
This is the beauty of having just
mobile podcast.
Here we go.
So we'll be here in this studio next week.
Yes, we will be. And then the week after that, we're going to be in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm going to get my noggles up here. We're going to be in Indianapolis, Indiana for VeeCon, which I am so excited about because we get to reconnect with friends and all different new people that we're meeting in the NFT community. And VeeCon is another great example of someone who, Gary Vee, if you don't know about him, I don't even know what to say. He's like very famous now, not only just for what he's doing with Web3 and NFTs, but because he is like this like really robust, hyper positive entrepreneur, and like people go and watch him speak. They've been watching him speak for years. Okay. He's really like led the Web3 community, and I will literally give him flowers for probably onboarding just thousands and thousands of people into Web3 and making it feel like a safe, comfortable place. I feel like he really harbors that like abundance mentality. I'm hoping that like I'm just gonna think about my abundance mentality over this next like week and a half, and I'm gonna make it so that like I'm gonna turn a corner or something like in this convention and like there he is. I've not gotten the chance to like say hi to him or like get to shake his hand or meet him in person yet.
Yeah,
but
we saw Gary.
Yeah, I was gonna say we saw him at a party.
We saw him in Miami, but even though it was a VIP party, we didn't have the we didn't actually have the VeeCon. We didn't have the V friends, so we couldn't get into the other corralled little area.
Yeah, I know.
Chill.
What were we thinking? But we did see him there. And when I say
But
party, I mean
now.
like epic event at Art Basel, like the largest, craziest event that happened at Art Basel in Miami Beach last December. It was epic.
I look like I'm ready to go back to Miami, don't I?
I know. We both kind of do. It's incredible.
I love it.
We're just past. We're way past the first hour. If you guys are joining us for the first time, this is Nouns on the Air with Toshi and Sheffo. I need to probably like change the language on the opening title slide for that too, because Sheffo, you just have been such an integral part of this podcast, and thank you so much for kind of coming.
I'll come hang out anytime, Toshi.
Well, the first couple episodes, it was just me talking, and then you came on voice, which was really fun, but now you're here with us, and I think it's really great. I think you bring great insight.
Well, you kept saying the voice from above, so I just had to sit here next to you and prove that I was right here.
A real person. This is not AI, guys.
Oh, that would be hilarious. Can we get an AI co-host?
That is so funny. I really want to do like a reporter in the field type of thing. That would be so funny if it was AI. Or AI telling us.
That's a great idea too.
Another segment we could do too is like, just news and happenings, but we should just be really asking AI all these questions. That's what I was saying earlier. I think you were like on the computer and stuff, but I was saying that like instead of just going into Google and doing your search for now, like people should just start like hardwiring in their brain going to ChatGPT and doing the same thing. You're going to get better data.
That's interesting for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like Googling something. Just go GBT it.
Exactly.
It's kind of hard to say. How do you say it? Go AI it.
Ask AI.
Oh, wow. that's good.
I know. Just ask AI, okay, guys? Because when you start doing that, you're like,
Sick, bro. Let's make T-shirts. Just ask AI and put the Turbo little gorgeous little buddy on there.
I don't even want to look at the chart while we're doing this because it's just not what it's about. But I will go to my Twitter because my notifs are blowing up because I have been doing this. Look at me. Can you see this on screen?
We should definitely post.
I said, hey,
some of Rhett's artwork in the space later. It's just such good art.
It's so good. I said, hey, OpenAI, have you heard about Turbo? Digital artist Rhett used ChatGPT to help launch the first AI art coin that has gathered a community with over 11K holders and reached over 80 million market cap in under 5 days. You guys, this was yesterday. We're at 180 million market cap and 15,000 holders right now. That was 1 day ago. Here's my profile. If you guys want to come to the spaces later, I feel like I should maybe pin that. I love my Where's Turbo situation there.
Oh, talk about art. This thing was epic.
Let me do
I love this.
this.
You should throw some noggles and do some of these with noggles too.
So if you guys want to come later today, this is the Twitter. This is what Spaces looks like. You can just go to my Twitter profile. All you have to do is touch this little space, set a reminder on your Twitter, and a little notification will come to your phone when the space starts. All you do is you tap into the space. If you're a listener, that's all you have to do. You just put your phone down. You'll hear the whole space, all the speakers and stuff. And if you want to participate, there's a button in the bottom left corner. It looks like a little microphone. You just tap that. It sends a request to me because I'm hosting the space, and I can bring you up so you guys can share whatever you want to share. But I just wanted to make sure everybody knew how to do that. I think it's really, really important and cool. And I want to always be mindful to the fact that people are experiencing these tools sometimes for the very first time. And I just cannot stress enough that these tools are incredible and that anybody can utilize them. Like, we've already gotten past the time where you have to sludge through something for months to understand it. You guys, people have made things easy for us. So just don't be afraid to hop in your very first Twitter space. I probably hopped into mine a year and a half ago, and it's changed everything for me. And there's a lot of really valuable information that kind of flies around there and really great people. Like in yesterday's space, getting to kind of meet for the first time, one of the OG original, Google architects, back-end architects.
He was so smart, man.
It's epic, dude.
It was really cool too, because some of these OG devs are not only are they smart devs, but they're super wise about it because they have been around technology for so long. I don't know. I like hearing these
Oh my God. While we're sitting here, I said
awesome.
15,000 followers. There's 15.7K holders now. It's gone up 1,000 holders since we've been live, you guys. This is out of control in the best way possible. It just feels like.
Well, one thing that's also important within that is that people who have been into projects in the beginning begin to take profits. Zeneca has this really great tweet thread about what it means to be involved in a meme coin. Should totally read it. Definitely there's a lot of cautionary statements that he writes really well.
I like that.
Within that, yeah, I mean, when you have more holders, it is a good thing because it is diversifying the coin and stabilizing it.
Wow. Well, and of course.
And that's why things like Bitcoin and Ethereum are, considered premier tokens because they have decentralized diversification. But they are their own blockchain, so it is slightly different. These are ERC20s that are on Ethereum, but it is super important from a liquidity standpoint. It's important to decentralize the liquidity pools as much as possible.
And yesterday in the space, it was made very clear by Rhett himself, and then all of us acknowledging that we understood what he was saying and that we agree. But he is not responsible for anything good or bad that happens to everybody. He literally prompted AI. He put it out there to the community. And now what we're really seeing is a community rally. And so again, not financial advice. If you are still in your observation phase of learning about things, that's okay. Just learn. There's no harm in learning about something that is taking off. This is clearly trending, right? If you're into trending fashion, or if you got excited to see the Met Gala, that's because it's one event a year that you've heard about and there's all this hype and momentum about it, and you're just watching it. Like, I love watching people come to the red carpet on the Met Gala. Maybe one day we'll get to go to the Met Gala, but at this point in time, I'm in observation mode on the Met Gala. You guys can be in observation mode about things that are trending in this industry as well too. You can just watch. Why not? And like, watch until you like think you know kind of what's going on, and then keep watching. Like, this is the first time I have ever gotten involved in a coin, and I've been like talking about these things for years. Like, I really just want to impress upon you to participate, not just in a financial way. Like, you can literally just observe, take in new information. More people should understand and learn about this industry because of that abundance mentality that is accessible here. Part of the reason I feel like a lot of, you don't hear from a lot of like traders and stuff too, because like they're kind of just doing their thing and they don't need the world to know that there's this abundance mentality there that they've like tapped into. Like, I would like you guys in the world to know that there is that. And so if you're ever at a point of where you want to learn a little bit more about what that means, observe. Join live streams, join Twitter spaces, look at what's trending, click on the trending thing and see what people are doing. Don't click on crazy links. Don't just go and buy every NFT that you see related to this thing. Like, there's a lot of scams out there, but NFTs and crypto are not scammy. Okay. The same way that you get voicemails.
They're not scammy, but you do have to.
There are scams out there though.
There are scams, and you do have to do your research to figure out the intention of the project.
Yes, you have to do your own research. But the same way I was going to say that you get probably 10 voicemails a day on your phone that's like, this is the IRS.
Again,
like, you're going to get arrested if you don't call us back. Like, that's a scam. People call that number and,
We're out here kind of in a world that we don't normally like live in, right? And like with crypto and stuff like that, like as far as from a coin standpoint, and being involved with Nouns and creating Nouns communities like Food Nouns. Our goals are to create like literally as many points of transparency, decentralization, transparent code stacks, CC0 art and code, like, safe, super hyper safe, like community environments where toxicity is not, allowed at all. And so it's just like, we are blessed to function and have learned about that environment. And obviously we want to bring people to that environment as well. But yeah, I mean, it is interesting to be kind of, I would say, sheltered a little bit in that environment, like learning, being sheltered, like growing, and then kind of like sticking your head out a little bit of the cave or of the schoolhouse or whatever it is, and coming out into the world where it's way less sensitive to that, and really no one cares. And so, and even in projects like that we're describing, like Turbo, that we seem to, appreciate and like, and like the people that we're meeting. Yeah. And, we love the founder story and all that stuff. Like, even within this project, there's going to be people that are not like probably people that we would chill with or something like that. But when you get to the point where there's literally like thousands of people an hour joining something, because it is an open, decentralized platform, like that's going to happen. And think about it like this, like, so one of the things that's happening now in the news and in the big world outside of crypto is this banking, let's just say, like reshifting within banking, but banks, as we're learning, and as some people are maybe learning for the first time, are essentially businesses, and they have to hit certain numbers and do things certain ways and make correct decisions, or they don't actually make enough money to continue to exist. And because they're banks, like, once you hit a certain point, you literally get shut down by the government. And so within that, like, it's fairly similar actually in certain ways, in the sense that at a bank, people choose to do their banking, and businesses, corporations, big, small, medium, choose to do their banking with certain banks. And so it might be big bank over here, medium-sized bank. It might be a local bank. A lot of people like to do local banking.
Yeah.
Or look at the whole like credit union system. And so this idea of people putting funds in kind of like one area or in one organization is not unheard of by any means at all. The thing that's different is that you don't have to make an appointment with a banker on any side of the transaction, and there's not going to be somebody there to open and close, help you manage your account. You don't have to wait in line. Like, it's just Wild West, And so on that side, it's fully entirely different, but that's the piece of it that I think a lot of people who are involved in crypto appreciate. And from an NFT standpoint, there's a lot of like similarities as well that correlate. In art, an artist can now empower themselves without having to go through galleries. You may not have the same network that a gallery might have, but because of, but you're not also giving away 35-40% to the gallery.
Speaking of that, what was that documentary? Oh, The Art of Making It.
That
It's
was
a
a good one.
documentary I saw like on one of the flights that we were doing. I was like
I
starting
think
to
that
watch
was the
it.
one time where we like kind of started something at the exact same time. We were like kind of watching it all together. I don't know.
I think we had like
On
had
two
it like
different screens.
on different times, like 15 minutes ahead or something. I don't know, but we watched The Art of Making It, just speaking on to galleries and artists and what it's like for someone to go from like art school into a gallery, or what that whole world is like. This is a pretty interesting take, I thought. It is really hard for artists. It basically doesn't happen. You have to get plucked from a prestigious art school and be chosen for something like that if you're interested in sort of seeing an insight on that world. And again, I'm not really big on, I tend to stay away from documentaries and stuff that like FUD things or are negative, or they're like, this is different. Like, obviously, like some people have made it in the art community and it's amazing for them. So I don't want to take away from artists who are in galleries right now and stuff too, but it is an interesting take.
Yeah, I totally hear that. Now, you're definitely like a positive person. I think anybody who spends time with you knows that. But like documentaries are important because they show, they show the tension. It's like you can't sing the blues without living them. Like you can't, like, things taste sweeter, after you have like a sour thing in your mouth. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but
Oh shoot.
ultimately, like, documentaries are important because they give it a perspective that hopefully like gives people a more clear insight into something that they're either involved or want to be involved in. They know someone who's involved in, or just something that they're watching and they're interested in. And art is one of these things. Anybody can draw something and make art and learn art, and we teach children art, and this whole thing, and it's amazing. And I'm 100% pro art. I'm a painter myself, but I suppose, and I'm not like a accomplished painter, so I don't really know from experience, but there are levels to it. And even in like the town that we were living in and stuff like that, there was a fairly strong art gallery scene. And there's 3 or 4 galleries pretty much in every town or city that are the considered the more premier ones. And because of that, like, there are artists locally, regionally, and internationally that are fighting for that gallery space. And the gallery owner pretty much has an obligation to themselves, their business partners, to bring in the art that they think is going to sell to their patrons. And by selling the art, they get to maintain the gallery.
Yeah.
And so, like, there is this trending element. There's a PR and marketing element. There's a social element to it. There's a historical art element to it. And, as I'm saying that, like, it completely translates into NFTs as well. And that's what sets the value of collections, 100%. And then if you start to use the technology, like Nouns has done, to give empowerment, to create voice, to create, side projects and other things, as well as forked communities, then you really do give a different type of value to the token that sometimes honestly doesn't translate into the price of the token. And it is more of an intrinsic community human value. And frankly, it drives a lot of people crazy. It drives people crazy who are very concerned about the price that, they paid, or that they want to be able to see in their wallet, or tell their friends, or take a loan against, or who knows what, but price is more important to some people than others in a group of a collection. And that NFT idea also translates to coins. Like, people hold Bitcoin. There are people out there that Bitcoin could go from $1 million to 2 cents and they would still hold it because it's a Bitcoin.
Yep.
And so like it translates to coins as well.
It's just all really incredible. I was just even like kind of, and it's all happening live. If people are starting to like clip yesterday's spaces and send that out, that's what I was kind of just doing in the background here while you were discussing everything. No way. Well, like there is Zealous One is something I've met. Are you going to
record again today?
Yeah, we're definitely going to record today. But just like even in the background right now too, like where we're all like as a community trying to really protect everybody in the community. He had this awesome clip and stuff too, but there was like an error in like the Toad thing or turbo thing. I think it said Toad, so that's why like the community was just like, hey. So we all like got together, and just in that moment too, we're like, just correct this, and we can send it out too. But it really shows you how in the moment this thing is happening. Right now, the Discord is just like popping off. If you just want like good vibes and to celebrate with people, join the Discord. It is so fun. I really just feel connected to people, and I think like what's interesting is during yesterday's space, many people got up, like several people said, thank you, Rhett, for bringing humanity back into this space. We're all just people, you guys. Like we finally, I feel like we just went through this weird couple of years where like people were just like so mean and like crazy, and like you could just lie and just say crazy lies about people, like cancel culture, like all that whole crap. I feel like we are done with that. Like I
think that there's still a bit of that always, but yes,
but
COVID like, did not always bring out the best in people.
Well, and like pandering to it maybe is like what we're done with. Like it's almost like if I go into space or something and I hear like anybody just like being negative, I'm just like, bye. I just leave. I don't need to tweet about that person. I don't need to like express my opinion about it, because that's just adding to like the negativity. I just don't have to be there anymore. I don't need to choose to be there. And that's the power of like not pandering to, just people and places and things that feel really wrong. And of course, like, did you see how I ran that back out to nouns? People, places, and things. Ooh, surround yourself with good people. Go to great places and do amazing things. Okay, guys.
Love that.
Love it.
Love that.
It matters.
Like, listen to Nouns on the Air.
Yes, and I feel like
check out some Nouns on the ground.
I'm kind of like speechless right now and like very emotional, because I really only feel like what is happening with this community right now, how we're doing these spaces, getting to be the main host to moderate a 3-hour AMA with an artist who's blowing up right now. Like I'm fully honored to have gotten to do that. But I really want to thank the Nouns community, because it's the only reason I was able to do that. All of the Nouns spaces I've hosted, all of the people who are so beautiful and amazing in the Nouns community, who are builders and creators, who have gotten to talk to, like I only knew the exact right questions to ask Rhett, and I only knew to like step back and let the man have his moment and let other people kind of come up and ask questions because of Nouns.
I get to listen to you, and you get to listen to me, and we get to have conversations all the time about this great stuff and all that. I kind of like wonder what someone thinks like when they're, new to that whole experience and then they do hear someone talking.
Toady just entered the TikTok. So sorry.
Cool.
I like looked over. I know that BFB. Toady, that's not the. You're saying click the
vibes.
link. You have to
Toad
come to the
vibes.
actual stream. Otherwise, you're just gonna get like my face and me doing like this.
Stream is so much better.
I know this stream is so much better. But hi, Toady. Hi.
Maybe we'll figure out how to get the TikTok streamed in.
Yeah, I really should stream it in because I wanted to do the other great thing about TikTok lives is you can like go live with a person, which is really, really fun. But Toady, again, just come to the actual stream. We're having such a good time over here. And we are on the last 20 minutes of the stream. I can't even believe it. I always feel like Saturdays just like roll by. And just again,
what's for lunch, Toshi? What's for lunch? That's the always.
I definitely was already thinking that. Yesterday we had like a couple hour break between the spaces at 4. We're doing those spaces at 4 again today for the community and for the culture. Yesterday we had a little Mexican food break.
I was gonna say, what do you have after
little
Cinco
El
de Mayo?
Chorito.
I think
Just a little, my
Maybe-
little my margarita that came in the shaker that I had to like pour in my glass. But I only had one yesterday.
That was a skinny.
We literally
Little
we did
skinny.
not party on Cinco de Mayo. We had a margarita at lunch, and just the vibes of everything else have been what I've been partying with. Like, we were in bed by 10 because I was just like, I can't do this. This is another great reminder for anyone that's going through this moment right now. It can be really difficult to like be like, when am I supposed to sleep? Like, I just want to watch this thing all night, or when am I supposed to eat or something? Like, take breaks, go get water, go have a snack. I literally brought like my cereal into the stream this morning, and I am so excited that I haven't eaten it yet, but I will be eating this afterwards. But please, like, force yourself to eat food and drink water.
She was like, I'm gonna eat my cereal. I'm a pro. I'm like, uh-huh.
I thought we were gonna be like, if it was the other day where we were watching like that video, I totally could have just been eating. But it can be difficult in exciting times to remember that, like, to just take a break, like don't just like walk away from your computer, like physically shut the screen. Go outside, put the phone down. Go put the charger. Go put your phone on a charger and put it in a room that you don't go into, and shut that door and like
Bend down
just
and
step away.
Do a little stretching, like move the hips, like
Move the hips.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
rock around. Go outside. Touch a blade of grass.
I saw this old guy on this video this one time. It really was actually like this cool. I don't know. It kind of changed my life, but they were like, "Dude, how do you live so old? You're so old. You're like 90 something. You're like doing great." And he was healthy.
Wait, you said this to this man?
No. This was in the video that.
I was like, what the?
I would never talk to an old guy like that.
You're so old. How did you do it? Oh my God! Thank you. I was like,
and they said he touches his toes, like, in the morning when he's waking, and like, so yeah, just like the act of keeping that flexibility and that movement.
touch your toes. Open up. Okay, not on your. Go get a physical. Like, go to just that magazine part of the grocery store that you
The
never go
magazine
to.
part?
Yes, and grab Sudoku or grab an actual like crossword thing, and like so you don't have to do it online, but like do a crossword
I don't
puzzle.
think I've been in the magazine part of a
That's what I'm
grocery
saying. Like,
store
force
in
yourself to do
15
it.
years.
I like to do Sudoku and I like crosswords, but it's really important for your brain. My grandma used to always say, like, do one crossword puzzle a day and you will just like stay sharp. And so that's like stuck with me.
The last plane ride we were on, there was a guy, he did crossword puzzles for 6 hours straight, dog. Did not stop.
I love that. I'll play Sudoku like in the final kind of minutes, but like 6 hours of crosswords. He's just trying to like, that's not even like staying sharp. That's like getting smarter.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
That's like training for the SATs.
Be like that
or
guy.
something. I don't even
Be
know.
like that guy. Wow, that's hilarious, actually. I know I'm so that person. Like, as much as I'm watching what's on my screen on the airplane, I'm also just like can't help myself. I'm like looking at what everyone else is watching. You know what everyone watches, and it blows my mind. People of all ages, in all different parts of the world, people that only speak English and people that only speak German or something. Like, without a doubt, I would say the most watched video on airplanes. What's your guess?
Dude, I mean,
I know what it is. I have one thing, but
I mean, I honestly, like, Top Gun 2 gets played in half the fucking planes these days.
Is there another one? Come on.
Yeah, it should be. What is it?
It's Black Panther 2.
Okay. Yep.
It's the second Black Panther.
Yep.
I'm always just like, because I'll like be watching like Desperate Housewives. That's what I watch on airplanes. Trash reality TV. And just there's all this like action and like people like flying around and like crazy Black Panther, Marvel wars happening on all the other screens around me. It's amazing. I also see like every child on the plane is watching the Lego movie. Every child is watching the Lego movie. What a great movie. You got to if you're going to be a movie maker, make a movie that people are going to want to watch on an airplane.
I love that. I've really
Alpha.
I've watched some
Alpha.
cool things that I wouldn't have seen other places or whatnot, and it's just
Exactly.
It's a pretty even though it's like a small screen or whatever, it's a pretty like intimate viewing environment. Like you have no
Yes.
choice but to be pretty into like we watched the can't remember her fucking name now.
Amy Winehouse?
Amy Winehouse documentary.
I was just thinking that right when he said it's an intimate environment, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, yeah.
You cried.
I was sobbing.
Like you sobbed. You were sobbing. It was it was beautiful. I was like, wow. Because I was the one that had I think I was like a few minutes into it. I might have even watched the whole thing. I don't remember. And I was like, you have to watch this.
I was loudly sobbing. I couldn't help it. I was like, Grant, please help me. Like, please help me. Like, I'm not okay right now. I don't know. It's just, she was so moving. And anyways,
That was super sad and a really great documentary.
I could watch the Amy Winehouse documentary just so many times, but I definitely sobbed on the airplane while watching it. People thought I was fucking crazy, I bet. But
No.
But make a movie if you're a movie maker or a potential want to be a director of a movie that people can watch on airplanes, and especially because longer flights, you can watch like 2 to 3 movies. So make a trilogy, okay?
It's crazy too
Make a
because I have
trilogy.
trouble getting through one, sitting down on a couch or whatever. But on an airplane, I'll just crush movies.
No, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so we will watch and binge like hit TV shows. Like right now we're doing Succession, okay? But we don't really sit and watch 2-hour movies. Like who has the fucking time to do that? Like we don't. So like it's just you're so right. It is really hard to do that. But so sometimes instead of going out to a movie theater now, like our only movie watching experience is if we're on an airplane. And we obviously have a little bit of a unique situation. We are flying around to all these different NFT conferences. We're probably on planes a little bit more often than others, but you really do realize like that time in the air, the only thing you could do is watch movies. Like that has become my like, ooh, like I will purposely not watch a movie if I have a trip coming out because I'm like, that's what I'm going to watch on the plane.
I tried to video edit one time on a plane, and I was like, this is really weird.
Yeah.
People are like seeing the cut out, like that you can't really. It's just like, nah, I couldn't vibe with like doing any type of like intimate work. You see people on like spreadsheets without even like without even trying. I've read shit where it was like this one lady, she was working for like the park. I don't even know. There was millions of dollars on this spreadsheet, and it's just like you folks need to,
Yeah, you
cover it up.
Yeah, you need to understand that as I'm walking by to go to the bathroom, I'm taking in everything you're doing.
Yeah, I'm looking for the next trend.
By the person who's in a seat on an airplane next to us. You never know who you're going to meet, you guys, on an airplane. You just never know. But I agree. It's hard for me to do anything except for watch movies or sleep on airplanes. I think I saw a tweet the other day. Someone posted, like, this person's on my plane right now. And it was a picture of them, like, like someone, like, just to the other side of them. Mm-hmm. And they had it printed out on tabloid-sized paper numbers and like a spreadsheet, and they were like going through it with a pen, and the person's like, what are you doing? But anyways, that's the beauty of traveling. You get to meet every type of person, and it makes you more. I know that we see and are pushed to see a lot of these like random fights that happen in airports and our airplanes, but I've seen a lot of humanness happen in airports. Like we're all in this together. Of course, you're gonna have like your loud one person that like sprays people with your fire extinguisher. I don't know if you guys saw that one in Atlanta a few months ago, but that's one person. Okay, everybody else in the airport is just like trying to get to where they're getting to, and everyone who works there is just trying to fucking do their thing. I can't even believe the craziest job ever. I'm loving it. Like the flight attendants, because their shift will be you fly from LA to New York, and then you get on, and then they clean the plane, and then you fly back, and then you go to sleep or something. Or if it's something further, you go and you spend a night there, and then you kind of come back, and you're just like bopping around. Like your job, you're literally being flown around the world and then flown back. Like it's wild to me. It must be so freaking fun. Like that, I definitely should have gone in as like a younger person and done that and just like racked up some miles and like gotten in with the airports and airlines
You
because
would-
like
You
can
would
just
never
get on
know
flights.
what time it was.
You,
That'd be freaking weird, dude.
I know, and you're in a different place all the time. And you're just casually like, oh yeah, I was in Paris yesterday. Yeah, I'm in Hong Kong right now. I don't know, just my life. I'm a flight attendant. Like it seems so fun. Like
You would meet some really interesting people for sure.
you meet every person that's traveling
Yeah.
because you have to say hi. What would you like to drink?
No, it's like when you still see like lots of flight attendants, men, women,
Mhm.
you know, everyone, and like you definitely still get this vibe that I'm sure was a thing back in like the 70s and all that, where you know people were excited to be steward or flight attendants, you know, and yeah, you still get that vibe.
Have you seen that movie
people
Catch
are-
Me If You Can?
I love that movie.
I
That's a
love that
good
movie
one.
too.
Yeah.
That's a great one to watch on an airplane. But
Love
it
it.
is like that exactly what you're talking about is like his whole vibe of why he was pretending to be a pilot. It was because it was like all this like celebrity almost, you know, like vibe around him when he was a pilot.
Mm.
But I agree. I mean, do you know what it takes to become a pilot? Do you know how many hours those people have to be in the air? Like it's incredible. And just every
One
time
of
we
my
land,
best friends-
I'm just like, thank God.
One of my best friends growing up, he had like fighter pilot stuff all over his room. You know, we'd like go over, spend the night, and there'd be like jet posters and stuff. And he literally went to the Air Force and flew jets. And like, and then I think, and I don't know if he flew jets. I think he actually flew massive cargo planes. Like I think some of the largest in the world. And yeah, I think he's a commercial airline pilot now. But
Wow.
yeah, pretty crazy. Just like literally had pictures of planes on the wall as like a 10-year-old, and now he's a professional pilot. And I remember when his dad started like getting him pilot lessons, he was probably, I think, still in high school.
That is freaking awesome. Wait, I'm just going to post this here. Fixed. And then I was going to pull up in the last 10 minutes. Should we do a round of Frogger?
You are, I'm
getting better.
so good at watching Frogger, but you're even better at playing it. So let's see.
I'm getting better. I'm getting
let's do
better. I'm
this
getting
ish.
better. Okay.
I just like the sound of it.
Same. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Can you see it on the screen?
Not yet. I'm a little lagged over
Oh, here
here
we go.
on this side. There we
Play
go.
game. Okay. Just to keep up the toad energy. And plus, I think I'm getting better, guys.
You got better yesterday, even while you were playing.
Yeah, adapt. Ah! Oh my God. Oh my God. Sorry. Random sounds that are going to come out of my mouth without me wanting to do it on purpose. Ah! I definitely am like the type of. Remember when we were kids? Like, you would make fun of the kid that, like, when they're like playing Mario Kart or something, their like whole body's moving with how they're driving. That was me.
I could see that.
You just gotta feel it, you know? You just gotta feel it. Okay, this is looking good for us. This is looking really good. So I don't like that I'm like down a life already because I realize that it's how many lives you have through all the levels. Like you don't get more lives. I'm assuming you. Oh, that one's gonna be really hard to get. What?
That thing's loud.
I'm assuming you get more lives. Like there's gonna be like a butterfly or something like oh no, I fucked up. Oh my God.
I think you should just focus on the one that you have at the time. Ooh.
What the hell?
Look out, little Toad Toshi.
We'll just do one more round and then we'll do a closeout here. Just for the coach.
I wish the little frog had noggles on it when it was jumping across the screen.
Yeah, we should make the next Frogger, but we should do like Turbo Toad and just
Dude.
totally take Frogger.
I'm gonna talk to Bowling Seed about it. That's a great idea.
Everyone take my ideas and run with them. I don't even care.
CC0.
Not all my ideas, guys. Not all my ideas.
Not all
I'm like,
of
wait,
them.
just back it right up. I retract that statement. No, but the Turbo Toad Frogger idea, yes. Anyone, just go for it. Okay, we're getting good. We're getting good. I'm gonna really ride this. Okay. Here we go, friends. For the culture. Can we do it? Oh! No, we can't. I mean, I just want this win. I just want this win.
You deserve that win.
Ooh, I think that was the life. I think that's the life I was talking about. Let's go. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, this is when it gets wild. This is when it gets too crazy. This is when it gets scary. I'm not ready. Boom. Oh, did you see that alligator that like came up? Okay. Well, that was good. We did get one win, and that's all that matters. We will be kind of rounding out the space now. I got a lot of getting ready to do and screaming and jumping up and down and clapping my hands and singing to do before the 4 p.m. community spaces. Again, go to my Twitter. It's pinned to the top. Just tune in as a listener. It's going to probably be a really great space. And then if you feel comfortable enough to come up to speak, please do that. Feel free to DM me as well if there's something specific you want to share. I don't know. I'm pretty easy to get a hold of. It's been awesome to be here with you guys on this live stream. We do this every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Thank you, Shefo.
No problems. Love it.
So much. I really appreciate it. I'm just going to go back to the main screen now as we close out.
GM.
And thank everybody. Thank you, NounsDAO, for making this live stream possible. If you want to know more about Nouns, go to nouns.wtf. And if you want to know more about how this specific live stream was sponsored, go to nouns.wtf/vote/206. That's my specific proposal. You can read all about it. Let me know if you have any questions. I love coming to these spaces and these live streams. And I think I'm seeing a message. Oh, Crypto Gorilla, you were here this whole time. That's amazing. Thank you so much for staying. If you're ever seeing this live stream pop up, always throw down a comment. I can see it here in this chat. And I just really love communicating with all of you guys. Thank you for another great stream. I can't believe we're done with episode 12 already. We will be back here live next Thursday, 10 a.m. Don't miss it. And I am around in between during all those days too. So again, thank you guys so much for hanging out with all of us here. I really appreciate it. I'll catch you next time. What's going to happen with this little toad? By next Thursday? I have no idea. It's going to be amazing. Thank you. See you